Trying to give you as much, lead time as I can to start planning the life here in terms of studying. So, in a minute we're going to do a practice quiz, but first, is there any question about the quizzes I returned? All right, then let's take a look at this practice quiz. This quiz will not be until Monday. We are going to practice today and practice tomorrow again. Okay? So, let's see what we can solidify here. Because we're going to practice again tomorrow. Isn't today day 3? All right, Phoebe, don't mess with me. All right, don't mess. Here we go. Some of these, this is over the first 5 sections. So some of these are things you just quizzed over. So like number 1, you should have no problem with. What are you going to do with that equation? 3 to the x equals 81. You're going to log roll it. So 3 to the x equals 81. And then you're going to figure out what 3 to what power is going to give you 81. Just a second, I got to fix my attendance. All right, did you figure it out? 3 to what power? What's x? 4. So x equals 4. All right, that's not too bad. All right, now look at number 2. This is a little more complicated. Who remembers our general strategy?
To make the bases the same.
The bases have to be made the same. That is right. So, I have a 4 and an 8. What base could I use? 2. That's a great choice. Now, guys, I want you to watch this carefully. See this 4 right here? I'm going to rewrite that 4 as 2 squared. Because that's what it is, right? Now, that exponent is still there. What's 8? 2 to the 3rd. And that exponent is still there. You have to be able to write this number and this number as the same number to a power. So 4 is 2 squared, 8 is 2 cubed. It works out perfect.
There's like 4 and 7.
Wouldn't work. We'd have to use calculator and logarithms. Now, once these 2 bases are the same, then I no longer need to have them. What do I do with this? That's a distributive. So that's going to be 4x plus 6. And similarly, this is a distributive, so it's 9x minus 3. And now I'll just solve my equation like I've done for years and years and years. And I got 9/5, which is perfectly fine. You can get fractional answers. We okay? Jack pointed out, I can't do this, like, I couldn't just walk down the hall and ask kids to make up the problem. You can't do that. You have to rig it, if you're gonna do it with no calculator, you have to rig it so that these two can be the same. 2 to the third, or 3 to the third, or whatever. All right, right is a single logarithm. We were using this property yesterday in our equations, or the other day, in our equations. Your job is to write this as one logarithm. So remember those equations we were doing, and we had to squeeze everything together? That's what we're doing. We're gonna squeeze all this into one thing. So what do you think goes in here?
X times Y.
3, 1, x,
Maybe xy over z.
X, Y over Z. Now let's stop right there and talk about that, because it's a good start. Not done, but it's a good start. Why are the X and the Y times each other? Because that's a plus. Why is the Z down here divided by? Because that is a minus. Now what's missing? The 2. Remember that a number out in front is an exponent. So that's x squared yz. The number out in front is the power. And since it's only in front of the x, it only goes on the x. Number 4. Whoa, 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 stop, look. What's happening here? Exactly. When you have L and E, just like that, they're gone. And so what's the answer to the problem? 7x. 7x. Okay, simplify. We did these at the beginning of the year, and you have many options as to how to start. I tell you every time what I like to do. I like to simplify all this first. That's my personal style. And since I'm the one standing up here with a marker, that's what I'm gonna do. But you don't have to start that way. Some people like to distribute the 2. I like to just clean it up. So here we go, I'm cleaning it up. The 2's gonna stay out there. 3 and 4 do not reduce. If they did, I would, but they don't. How about my x's here? What's happening with these?
Would it become 1?
They're gonna become plain x on the top. Now, be careful. What's he gonna do?
Go to the bottom.
He's gonna go to the bottom. So you're gonna have a y cubed down here. So what do you have down here now? To the 8th. Now, I'm gonna take everything to the second power. So 3 to the second is 9. X to the second is x to the second. 4 to the second is 16. And then what do I do with these exponents here? Multiply them, so that's y to the 16. All right, here we go. We can't forget any of this stuff, guys. Can't forget.
Square the 16 and the 9 on the last one.
What do you mean now?
Like 16 and 9 are both square roots. Are you able to do that?
No,
Oh.
no. All right, what does this mean? 8 to the negative 2/3. It means 1/8 to the 2/3 because the original number is 8/1 and what does a negative exponent do? Flips it. Now, what does that mean? It means a radical with a 1/8 underneath. And what kind of a radical? Cube root. And I'm going to have to square it. So, cube root of 1 is 1. Cube root of 8 is 2. But now I still have to square it. So 1 squared is 1 and 2 squared is 4. So your answer is 1/4. That we had something like that on our quiz that we just took. Okay, so if you missed that, remember, take care of the negative first, going over, and then a fractional exponent is radical. All right, what do you want to do with this guy? 5 to the negative second equals x.
Then it would be 1/5 because that's
1/5 squared. Remember, this is 5/1, so I'll make it 1/5. Now it's squared. So what's 1/5 squared? 1/25. Yep. That's your answer. Number 8. Oh my gosh, some people missed this on the quiz. Oh my gosh. What is 4 to the log base 4 of 9? 9. 9. When those 4s match, it's that other number. Expand. Now, every letter is going to give you a logarithm. So I'm going to have the log base 3 of x, and I'm going to have the log base 3 of y when I expand, because my problem has an x and a y. So when I'm expanding, this is the opposite of what we did earlier. Okay? So what do you think?
Add the 2 to the x.
So
Or to
the
the front of the
2
x.
is going to go here. Because numbers out in front are powers. And since it was x squared, we'll put the 2 out here. Okay, what else? Subtraction. Why is that a subtraction? Because the x, or in the problem, it's x over y divided by. You with me? Oh, now we have a solve. This is what we did yesterday. And we need to solve this. Okay. See this right here? That is like a flashing light. No, 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 no! You cannot have 2 logarithms on the same side. So we're going to put those together into 1. Now don't worry about this guy. He's over here on that side. He's fine. But these 2 have got to go together. How am I going to put them together? Multiply. So what's going to go in here? 8x. You're going to multiply this and this because that's a plus. Now what are we allowed to do? Look at that carefully. What are we allowed to do now? Those don't matter anymore because they match. So 8x equals 5 and x equals 5/8. That problem is a lot like the first one we did. Remember when we had 2 to a power equals 2 to a power and we said we could just get rid of those? This is the same thing. If we have log equals log, we can get rid of those. All right, here we go. You know how to solve this.
divide by 3
You
first?
gotta divide by 3 first. You gotta get rid of that extra number. So 2 to the x minus 3 equals 48 divided by 3 is. Mhm.
And then when we do, 4 to this, wait, no. 2.
So this one's kind of like the first problem we did. We need this to be 2 to something. And again, guys, these problems are going to all be rigged, okay? So you're going to be able to do this. 2 to some power is 16. Well, how many does it take? 2 times 2 times 2 is 8 times another 2 is 16. So 2 to the 4th. And once I realize that 16 is 2 to the 4th, can't I ignore these and just solve this equation? So x equals 7. Last one. Here we go. What's the first thing you notice when you look at this problem? You got 2, and that can't be. That can't be. So you're gonna write it as 1. So somehow you have to smush this together into here. So what do you think is gonna be in here now?
3 to the square divided by x.
3 to the second divided by x. All right, let's look at that for a second and make sure everybody's with us. What does this number out here represent? That is an exponent, so that's how she got 3 squared. And then how come she divided by x? Because that's a minus. So I know 3 squared is 9, so I'll go ahead and write that as 9. Okay, what do I do with that? You know, you've done it a ton. Log roll it. Absolutely, we're gonna log roll it. So what's it gonna say when I log roll it? 5 squared equals 9 over x. So 25 equals 9 over x. Now, don't get crazy, folks. Get rid of your fraction. So you're going to multiply by x. So 25x equals 9. And then you'll divide by 25 to get your answer. And there it is. Okay? All right, like I said, we'll practice again tomorrow.